Monday morning, April 28, 2025, posters of the worst criminal undocumented immigrants arrested since President Donald J. Trump took office were placed on the lawn of the White House for the world to see. CNN and other media stations decided to blur the posters out, preventing the people from seeing the White House messages. So if the media won't cover the criminals that are being deported, the Trump administration is going to get the information out to the people, and we're going to help them. The featured mugshots on the White House lawn have the foreign citizens' photo, their status, and labeled the crimes committed, but the signs do not include names. However, the press release entitled, "In the First 100 Days, the Trump administration has taken killers, rapists off our streets," does list all 100 individuals with names, ages, countries of origin, and places of arrest. It is important to understand the types of egregious crimes these people have been arrested for to balance the misinformation by the legacy media that wants us to believe that criminals are being unjustly deported. We are going to go through each of these criminals, telling you where they came from and the crime that they were convicted of. This is all public information. You can be the one to decide once you have the facts. Share your feelings and this video with your friends who are opposing all immigrant deportations. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more great videos in terms we can understand. As you review these deportations, there's a few things that you will notice. First, there is a preponderance of crimes against children. Second, many of these final removal orders are many years old, so even though the courts sometimes did their job convicting and ICE issued the removal orders, no resources were expended to enforce those removal orders. And third, you will note that many of these people were arrested in a different place from where they committed their crimes, so they are moving around the country. First, a little background from Director of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem. Kristi has reported that hundreds of tons of cocaine and millions of doses of fentanyl have been seized in the last 100 days. So far, 150,000 people that were in this country illegally have been deported. Over 250 were known terrorists, and thousands are gang members. But there's more. In the last 100 days, we have collected hundreds of millions in penalties of people who have overstayed their visas. I will also link the White House press release containing this information on the official White House press release. Jamsal Benjamin Hears, a 51-year-old Jamaican citizen, was arrested in Baltimore. He has convictions for first-degree murder and 2 counts of assault in the second degree in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Razman Sankara, a 49-year-old citizen of Burkina Faso, was arrested in Buffalo, New York. He was convicted of rape in New York. Apolinar Islas Hernandez, a 43-year-old Mexican citizen, was arrested in El Paso, Texas. He was convicted of murder and aggravated battery in Santa Fe, New Mexico. Raju Varghese Vaya Chaparampil, a 70-year-old citizen of India, was arrested in Houston. He was convicted of aggravated sexual assault of a child in Harris County, Texas. Jorge Alvarez Salmeron, a 45-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Chicago, Illinois. He was convicted of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child in Cook County, Illinois. Juan Nieves, a 36-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Denver, Colorado. He was convicted of sexual assault, sex offense against a child, obstructing police, and driving under the influence of alcohol in Houston County, Texas. Jose Concepcion Mendoza Uriostegui, a 57-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Chicago, Illinois. He was convicted of aggravated sexual abuse of a minor in Illinois. Linus Rojas Martinez, a 40-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in San Francisco. He was convicted of sex with a minor in San Mateo County, California. Carlos Alberto Gomez, a 45-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in San Francisco. He was convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child in San Bernardino County, California. Alfredo Giron, a 34-year-old citizen of the Dominican Republic, was arrested in Buffalo, New York. He was convicted of murder in New York County, New York. Misael de Jesus Granados Chavez, a 32-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia. He was convicted of a sexual offense with a child in Wake, North Carolina. Eduardo Garcia Cortez, a 64-year-old citizen of Honduras, was arrested in Houston, Texas. He was convicted of murder in Los Angeles County, California. Rajpal Singh, a 39-year-old citizen of India, was arrested in San Francisco. He was convicted of lewd and lascivious acts against a child under 14 in Sacramento, California. Luis Enrique Rogue Avila, a 36-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Denver, Colorado. He was convicted of sexual assault on a child and interference with a school by failing to leave in Lake County, Colorado. He was also convicted of theft in Summit County, Colorado. Jose Herrera Garcia, a 21-year-old citizen of Colombia, was arrested in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was convicted of indecent assault of a person less than 13 years old in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Pedro Contreras Soto, a 54-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Los Angeles. He was convicted of rape of a spouse by threat, sodomy of a person under 14 years old, or with force and kidnapping in San Jose, California. Roberto Salvador Casimiro, a 35-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Chicago, Illinois. He was convicted of predatory criminal sexual assault of a child in Cook County, Illinois. Mark Anthony Scaff, a 46-year-old citizen of Jamaica, was arrested in Boston. He was convicted of 3 counts of rape of a child and 2 counts of indecent assault and battery on a child under 14 in Boston, Massachusetts. Jose Enrique Paul Troncoso, a 31-year-old citizen of the Dominican Republic, was arrested in Miami. He was convicted of possession of fentanyl, cocaine possession, heroin possession, carrying a concealed weapon, and stalking in Orange County, Florida. Luis Olmedo Quishpi Pualacin, a 35-year-old citizen of Ecuador, was arrested in New York City. He was convicted of rape with forcible compulsion, sexual abuse contact by forcible compulsion, rape and anal sexual contact with a person incapable of consent, unlawful imprisonment, forcible touching of sexual or intimate parts of another person, sexual misconduct, engaging in vaginal sexual contact without consent, and subjecting another to sexual contact without consent in Brooklyn, New York. Jose Luis Orozco Torres, a 37-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Los Angeles. He was convicted of lewd and lascivious acts with a child under 14 in San Mateo, California. Also of stalking, a temporary restraining order and violation of protection order domestics with priors in Santa Clara, California, and possession of a controlled substance and fighting in a public place in Santa Clara, California. Patrick Malston Garfield, a 44-year-old citizen of Guyana, was arrested in New York City. He was convicted of a criminal sexual act in the 3rd degree by an actor 21 years old or more, with a victim less than 17, and disseminating indecent material to minors in the 1st degree in Westchester County in New York. Carlos Amibris Estrada, a 53-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Dallas, Texas. He was convicted of deliberate homicide in Helena, Montana. Gustavo Carrasco, a 43-year-old citizen of Honduras, was arrested in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was convicted of homicide in Nashville, Tennessee. JV Batul Estoque, a 34-year-old citizen of the Philippines, was arrested in Los Angeles. He was convicted of a lewd and lascivious act with a child under 14 years old in San Luis Obispo County, California. Phu Vieng Phong Phu, a 54-year-old citizen of Laos, was arrested in Grand Forks, North Dakota. He was convicted of rape of a child and motor vehicle theft in Everett, Washington. Aaron Ross, a 44-year-old citizen of Cambodia, was arrested in Boston. He was convicted of murder, felony conspiracy, 4 counts of felony assault, and 2 counts of discharging a firearm during a violent crime in Providence, Rhode Island. Alexander Aragon Diaz, a 52-year-old citizen of Cuba, was arrested in Los Angeles. He was convicted of murder in Los Angeles, California. Edgar Guerra Medina, a 53-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in Chicago, Illinois. He was convicted of rape in Fairfax County, Virginia. Che Sol Norberto, a 66-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in Houston. He was convicted of indecency with child sexual contact in Harris County, Texas. Juan Carlos Prado, Chiqui, a 43-year-old citizen of Ecuador, was arrested in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was convicted of rape strong-arm in Suffolk County, New York. Miguel Angel Lopez Hernandez, a 43-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Dallas, Texas. He was convicted of assault with a semi-automatic firearm and sexual penetration with a foreign object with force in Riverside, California. Roseanne Balagot, a 34-year-old citizen of the Philippines, was arrested in Iro, Washington. He was convicted of persuading and coercing a minor to engage in sexual activity in the Eastern District of Michigan. Francisco Shrite Rodriguez, a 65-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Denver, Colorado. He was convicted of distribution of fentanyl in Baja California. Esau Matul Hernandez, a 37-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Pensacola, Florida. He was convicted of sexual assault with a victim under 12 years old in Florida. Alberto Leon, a 29-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia. He was convicted of sexual battery on a child under 16 in Gainesville, Georgia. Hector Rolando Valle, a 55-year-old citizen of Honduras, was arrested in Philadelphia. He has a final order of removal dated May 2, 2022, and was convicted of performing lewd and lascivious acts in front of a minor in Woodward, Oklahoma. Douglas Giovanni Calderon, a 39-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in New York City. He was issued an administrative removal order dated March 12, 2025, and convicted of sexual abuse and contact with a person less than 14 years old in Nassau County, New York. Saibunthan Chanthaphones, a 44-year-old citizen of Laos, was arrested in Atlanta and has a final removal order dated October 25, 2004. He was convicted of second-degree murder, assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill or seriously injure, and robbery with a dangerous weapon in Greensboro, North Carolina. Virginia Basora Gonzalez, a 36-year-old citizen of the Dominican Republic, was arrested in Philadelphia. She has a final order of removal dated May 4, 2020, and was convicted of attempted possession with intent to distribute 40 grams or more of fentanyl in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Ruben Dario Peralta Orellana, a 44-year-old citizen of Honduras, was arrested in Chicago. He has a final order of removal dated March 9, 1999, and was convicted of murder in the second degree, evidence tampering and bribery and intimidation in Espanola, New Mexico. Juan Carlos Sabra Zuniga, a 39-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in St. Louis, Missouri. He has a final removal order dated May 5, 2003, and was convicted of enticement of a minor, interfering with custody, and statutory rape. Michael Paul Calvin, a 60-year-old citizen of Jamaica, was arrested in Buffalo, New York. He has a final order of removal dated July 26, 1994. He was convicted of burglary and murder in King County, New York, and was sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. Santos Vladimir Santiago Jimenez, a 35-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Baltimore, Maryland, and was convicted of sexual abuse of a minor in Maryland. Roberto Fernandez Gomez, a 49-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Houston. He has an administrative removal issued May 30, 2007. He was convicted of murder in Travis County, Texas. Giovanni Rafael Falcon Gomez, a 40-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in St. Louis, Missouri, pursuant to a federal indictment for coercion and enticement of a minor and transfer of obscene material to a minor. Jose Chicas Martinez, a 46-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Washington. He has an administrative removal order dated March 27, 2024, and was convicted for sex object penetration of a victim less than 13, aggravated battery of a victim less than 13, and indecent liberties by a guardian in Martinsville, Virginia. Burqa Sarki, 27-year-old citizen of Bhutan, was arrested in Detroit, Michigan. He has a final order of removal dated August 6, 2024, and was convicted of unlawful sexual conduct with a minor in Columbus, Ohio. Hector Hernandez Vargas, a 45-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He has an administrative removal order dated March 9, 2025, and was convicted of rape in Dover, Delaware. Humberto Ruiz Zapata is a 35-year-old citizen of Mexico. He has a final order of removal dated May 12, 2017, and has convictions for DWI and murder. Axel Ramirez Hernandez, a 32-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in New York City. He has a final order of removal dated July 18, 2012, and was convicted of sexual assault on a victim under 16 years old in Stamford, Connecticut. Buddha Singh Gurung, a 40-year-old citizen of Bhutan, was arrested in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He has a final order of removal dated February 23, 2021, and was convicted of rape with forcible compulsion, sexual assault, indecent assault without consent, corruption of minors, and unlawful contact with a minor in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Noe Mendoza Garcia, a 44-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in San Francisco. He was convicted of molesting a child and rape by force or fear in California. Eliodoro Sebastian Mateo, a 34-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in Greeley, Colorado. He has a final order of removal dated February 12, 2020, and was convicted of sexual assault of a child and assault in Morgan County, Colorado. Jose Douglas Pineda Argueta, a 28-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Calexico, California. He has a final order of removal dated November 9, 2015, and was convicted of indecency with a child in Harris County, Texas. Guillermo Gonzalez Alverdin, a 38-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in New Orleans, Louisiana. He was issued an administrative removal order on March 4, 2025, and was convicted of rape and kidnapping first in Shelby County, Alabama. Sai Ryuth, a 46-year-old citizen of Cambodia, was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota. He has a final order of removal dated July 10, 2019, and was convicted of murder in the first degree, robbery in the first degree, and felony willful injury in Des Moines, Iowa. Jose Alvarenga, a 43-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Cincinnati, Ohio. He has an outstanding Interpol Red Notice for homicide from El Salvador and was arrested pursuant to a warrant in the Southern District of Ohio for re-entry of a removed alien. Tay Myant, a 53-year-old citizen of Burma, was arrested in Dallas, Texas. He has a final order of removal dated January 28, 2019, and was convicted of aggravated sexual assault of a child in Cactus, Texas. Luis Angel Torres Lopez, a 26-year-old Mexican citizen, was arrested in Phoenix, Arizona. He had an active warrant for homicide in his native country of Mexico. Abraham Amador Raimundo, a 35-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in Philadelphia. He was served a notice to appear on March 1, 2025 for pending charges of disseminating photo or film of child sex acts, child pornography, criminal use of communication facility, and drug possession in New Freedom, Pennsylvania. Osvaldo Diaz, a 72-year-old citizen of Cuba, was arrested in Houston, Texas. He has a final order of removal dated July 3, 2007, and was convicted for trespassing and sexual assault or battery of a child in Florida. Jose Pedro Callejas, a 47-year-old citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Boston, Massachusetts. He had an administrative removal order on February 28, 2025, and was convicted of illegal sexual contact with a victim under the age of 16 and sexual assault in the 4th degree in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Edris Barrios de Leon, a 38-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia. He was served with a notice to appear and was convicted of felony child abuse sexual act in Burke County, North Carolina. Alexis Aguirre Velasquez, a 37-year-old citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in Atlanta, Georgia. He has an order of removal dated February 12, 2013, and was convicted of 4 counts of indecent liberty with a child in Gatesville, North Carolina. Jose Flores Chiawa, a 35-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Mobile, Alabama. He has a prior order of removal and convictions for sexual assault of a child. Luis Alejandro Paramontiel was arrested in Nashville, Tennessee. He has a removal order dated September 2023 and pending charges of criminal homicide in Clarksville, Tennessee. Kamini Phimson, a 58-year-old citizen of Laos, was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota. He has a final order dated October 19, 2023, and convictions for neglect or endangerment of a child and criminal sexual conduct where the victim was under 13 years of age in Worthington, Minnesota. Oscar Parra Reyes, a 50-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Los Angeles, California. He has a final order of removal dated December 30, 1996, and was convicted of rape in El Monte, California. Lei Chen, a Chinese citizen, was arrested in New York and has been convicted of felony murder. Noel Chinchilla Aviles, a Honduran national, was arrested in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for failure to deport and hampering departure. There was a detainer, and he was previously arrested in New York for rape in the 2nd degree and again for receiving stolen property. Bernabe Pineda Bustamante, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Dallas after a conviction of sexual assault of a child. Rafael Satizabal, a Colombian national and B2 overstay, was arrested in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. He was charged with violations related to the sexual abuse of children. Zhengxi Chan, a citizen of China, was arrested in New York and was convicted of 2nd-degree murder. Chuane Senavongsa, a citizen of Laos, was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota. He was convicted of criminal sexual conduct with a child under 16. Mohabir Singh, a citizen of Guyana, was arrested in Atlanta and has been convicted of child molestation and sentenced to 7 years in prison and 20 years probation. Thang Lam Kap, a citizen of Burma, was arrested in Chicago and has been convicted of child molestation, sentenced to 7 years in prison. Edelson Luis Ramos, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested in New Orleans, Louisiana, and was convicted of rape. Oscar Ocampo Molina, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota, and was convicted of criminal sexual misconduct on a victim under 14 years of age. Obadiah Loyera, a citizen of South Sudan, was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota, and was convicted of rape of a victim less than 13. Jesus Alejandro Gomez, a citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Buffalo, New York, and was convicted of rape strong-arm. Samuel Lung Sine, a citizen of Burma, was arrested in Chicago and was convicted of forcible rape. Rogelio Hernandez, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Houston, Texas. He was convicted of aggravated assault of a child. Jose Miguel Casares Martinez, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Chicago, Illinois, and was convicted of sexual assault. Chichon Lei, a citizen of Portugal, was arrested in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was convicted of sexual exploitation of a minor child pornography. Eric Armando de Leon Corrado, a citizen of Guatemala, was arrested in New York City. He has been convicted of rape. Eber Diaz Matamoros, a citizen of Honduras, was arrested in Newark, New Jersey. He was convicted of a sex offense against a child. Stephen Emmanuel Jones, a citizen of Guyana, was arrested in Buffalo, New York, and has been convicted of murder. Cesar Augusto Delgado Sanchez was arrested in Dallas, Texas, and was convicted of sexual assault, strong-arm, and lewd and lascivious acts with a minor. Pedro Medina Villavalso, a 45-year-old citizen of Mexico, was arrested in Los Angeles, California, and has been convicted of lewd or lascivious acts with a minor. Oscar Villatoro Lazo, a citizen of El Salvador, was arrested in Buffalo, New York. He was convicted of murder. Edgar Julka Tangoa, a citizen of Peru, was arrested in Newark, New Jersey. He is the subject of an Interpol Red Notice related to his pending criminal charges in Argentina for aggravated sexual assault and sexual abuse of multiple minors. Edgar de la Cruz Manzo, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested January 25, 2025. He was convicted of rape of a child. Cesar Augusto Polanco, a 59-year-old citizen of the Dominican Republic, was arrested in Boston, Massachusetts. He has a criminal conviction for second-degree murder. ICE Los Angeles administratively arrested a citizen of Mexico for being illegally present in the U.S. While he doesn't have a known criminal history in the U.S., he's wanted for murder in Mexico and has an active Interpol Red Notice. Kevin Adith Torres Velasquez, a citizen of Honduras, was arrested in Seattle, Washington. He was arrested for possession of approximately 10 kilograms of a mixture of cocaine and fentanyl, as well as possession of a firearm. He was previously ordered removed from the U.S. in 2005, again in 2008 and in 2017, and is an inadmissible alien under the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952. Magdaleno Zenon Hernandez Garcia, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested January 23, 2025. He has been convicted of continuous sexual abuse of a child aged 14 or younger. Luis Alberto Espinoza Bocansaca, a citizen of Ecuador, was convicted of rape and arrested in Buffalo, New York. ICE ERO Boston arrested an undocumented Salvadoran MS-13 gang member in Everett, Massachusetts. He is wanted by authorities in his home country for aggravated homicide. Jesus Baltazar Mendoza, a citizen of Mexico, was arrested in St. Paul, Minnesota, and was convicted of second-degree sexual assault of a child. As we close, the display of these 100 mugshots on the White House lawn marks a powerful statement from the Trump administration on its 100th day in office. It is sending a clear message that law and order is back at the forefront. Whether these arrests spark debate or support, one thing is certain. This administration is taking extraordinary efforts to reach the people by bypassing biased media. Until next time, remember this thought as you move about your day. In the face of the impossible, only the fearless rewrite the rules.